Excellence isn't a one-time event, it's a way of life. It's not about a single moment of success. It's about the quiet decisions you make each day, the small choices, the steady habits, and the standards you hold yourself to when no one else is watching. That's where true excellence is built. Many people think success comes from talent or luck. They assume those at the top were born with some special advantage, a natural gift, a head start, or better circumstances. But that's not the reality. The individuals who achieve lasting success, the ones who rise and remain at the top, are the ones who've learned how to commit to excellence daily. Success isn't created overnight. It's built through everyday decisions, often made when no one is looking. It's shaped in early mornings, late nights, and the extra effort most aren't willing to give. It's found in the choice to show up even when it's difficult, to push past resistance and stick to the process. Excellence isn't a mood or a chase. It's something you become through what you do every single day. Here's a truth most people overlook. Excellence isn't about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's not about always getting it right. It's about showing up and giving your best effort again and again. It's about setting a personal standard that doesn't change based on the world around you. It's a mindset that says, I don't lower my standards to fit the world. I raise them to shape it. When you build the habit of daily excellence, success stops being something you chase. It starts coming to you. You stop depending on motivation and start moving with discipline. You stop waiting for the perfect time and start building real momentum through consistent action. So the real question is this: how do you develop the mindset, the habits, and the systems that support daily excellence? How do you train yourself to operate at a higher standard until it becomes second nature? That's exactly what we're going to explore. Not vague concepts, but practical habits you can start using right now. These are habits that have been tested and proven. Habits designed to reshape your thinking, sharpen your focus, and boost your performance. Excellence isn't a finish line. It's not a final result. It's a way of living, and once you learn to master it each day, you'll naturally set yourself apart from the rest. The first habit of daily excellence is owning your mornings. How you start your day shapes how you live your day. If you begin with discipline, focus, and intention, those qualities will flow into everything else. But if you start in a reactive state, hitting snooze, rushing around, you're likely setting yourself up for distraction, procrastination, and inconsistency. Excellence begins before the world even wakes up. It starts when you take charge of your first moments. Because if you can win your morning, you can win your day. It's not just about waking up early, it's about how you wake up. Top performers rise with intention. They begin their day with purpose, not by default. Before anything else, they prepare their minds for success. Some use affirmations, others write in a journal, some meditate, others move their bodies to activate their energy. But they all share one thing in common: they take control of their first thoughts, first actions, and first priorities. If you're serious about mastering daily excellence, your mornings must be non-negotiable. You need a routine that strengthens your mindset, energizes your body, and centers your focus on what matters most. Even just 10 minutes of intentional practice in the morning can reset your brain and transform the course of your entire day. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel like taking action. They wait for motivation to kick in before waking up early. They wait to have the energy before starting their day strong. But that's not how excellence works. If you wait to feel ready, you'll remain stuck in the same habits. Instead, train yourself to move, regardless of how you feel. One of the simplest yet most powerful habits is getting out of bed the moment your alarm rings. The moment you hit snooze, you're telling your mind it's okay to delay. You're conditioning yourself to avoid responsibility, and that mindset carries over into everything else. But if you set a rule, wake up without hesitation, no excuses, no negotiation, you build the habit of immediate action. And when you begin your day with discipline, that discipline shows up in your work, your decisions, and your goals. Start your day with focus, and your brain learns to tune out distractions. Start your day with energy, and you'll operate at a higher level all day long. Success doesn't begin with big wins. It starts with small, intentional choices. And if you can take control of your mornings, you'll take control of the rest of your day. The second habit of daily excellence is Mastering your focus. Your attention is your most valuable asset. Whatever you focus on tends to grow. Focus on problems and stress increases. Focus on distractions and you lose time and energy. But when you direct your attention toward progress, execution, and meaningful results, your actions begin to align with success. Most people never train their focus. They start the day with good intentions, but end up wondering where all the time went. Excellence doesn't happen like that. It demands intentional control over what claims your attention. The people who succeed at the highest level aren't always the smartest or most talented. They've just mastered how to eliminate distractions and stay locked in on what truly matters. They don't let the outside world dictate their priorities. They don't respond to every message, every notification, or every interruption. Instead, they protect their mission. To develop that level of focus, you need clear boundaries. Create time blocks for deep, uninterrupted work. Guard your attention like it's your most precious resource, because it is. Excellence is shaped in the moments when you choose discipline over distraction. Every time you say no to something unimportant and yes to your purpose, you strengthen your focus. Distractions don't just waste time, they drain your energy. Every time you switch tasks, your brain has to readjust. It takes real effort to get back on track. That's why so many people feel drained by the end of the day. Even if they didn't get much done, they spent the day shifting from one thing to another, never fully engaged. High performers do things differently. They schedule long blocks of deep work. They train their minds to stick with a task for extended periods. Because of that, they accomplish more in a few focused hours than most do in an entire day. If you're serious about building a mindset of excellence, it starts with protecting your focus. Start by removing the biggest distractions in your life. Take control of your environment. Be firm with your time. Most importantly, build the discipline to focus on one thing at a time. The third habit of daily excellence is mastering self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between where you are and where you want to go. It's not about talent, luck, or intelligence. The people who succeed are the ones who do what needs to be done, especially when they don't feel like doing it. Most people depend on motivation. They wait to feel inspired. They wait for the right conditions. They wait until they're in the mood, and that's why they stay stuck. Motivation is temporary. It comes and goes, but discipline is lasting. It's something you build over time. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it becomes. But if you stop using it, it weakens. Every time you make an excuse, procrastinate, or back out of a commitment, you make that muscle weaker. But each time you follow through, push yourself, and keep your word, you make it stronger. The key to building discipline is eliminating negotiation. Most people lose the battle before they begin because they allow internal debate. Should I go to the gym or rest? Should I work on my goals or relax, now or later? That back and forth drains your energy and gives your mind space to find excuses. Top performers don't negotiate with themselves. They don't wait for motivation. They don't ask how they feel. They don't debate what to do. They just take action because that's who they are. They've trained themselves to act automatically. Discipline means making a decision once and not questioning it again. If you've decided to wake up early, there's no hesitation when the alarm rings. If you've committed to daily workouts, it's not up for debate. If you've chosen to follow through on your promises, it doesn't matter how you feel in the moment. The simplest way to build discipline is to start small with daily commitments. Make your bed, drink water first thing in the morning, stick to a routine, because each time you keep a small promise to yourself, you train your brain to follow through, and that habit carries over into bigger decisions, bigger goals, and bigger results. Discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Some days will be tougher than others. Some days sticking to your plan will feel like the last thing you want to do, but that's when it counts most. That's when true discipline is formed, the kind that sets you apart. The fourth habit of daily excellence is building relentless consistency. Most people start strong, but few stay consistent. They get excited, jump into new habits, and feel unstoppable. But then life happens. Energy drops. They miss one day, then two, then three, and suddenly they're back to where they started. Excellence isn't about what you do once in a while. It's not about bursts of intensity. It's about showing up day after day. It's far more effective to take small steps consistently than to go all out for a week and then quit. The top performers in any field aren't the ones who push the hardest for short periods. They're the Those who achieve excellence know this. They don't give up when the results are slow. They keep showing up. They trust the process. They understand that consistency fuels momentum, and momentum drives meaningful change. The secret to relentless consistency is removing the element of choice. When something is optional, it becomes negotiable. But when it's non-negotiable, it gets done no matter what. You don't wake up wondering whether to brush your teeth. You just do it. It's automatic. It's part of who you are. If you want to be consistent, your habits must be the same. Working on your goals is not optional. Taking care of your body is not optional. Honoring your commitments is not optional. You don't do it only when it's easy or convenient. You do it because it's the standard you've set for yourself. One of the biggest mistakes people make is relying too much on willpower. Willpower is inconsistent. Some days it's strong, other days it's weak. If your success depends on whether you feel motivated in the moment, you'll always struggle to stay consistent. The best way to avoid relying on willpower is to build systems. Systems make success automatic. They remove the resistance between you and the action you need to take. Systems make it easier to stay consistent because they eliminate the need to think or decide. You simply follow the plan. A system can be as simple as setting a specific time each day to focus on your most important task. It can mean preparing in advance so that action becomes effortless. It might involve tracking your progress so you stay accountable. Whatever the system is, the goal is the same. Take the decision-making out of the process so that consistency becomes second nature. Another important key to consistency is lowering the barrier to entry. Too often, people make their goals overwhelming. They expect themselves to work out for an hour, write for several hours, or make huge progress every single day. But when life gets busy, those big expectations are hard to maintain. Excellence doesn't come from going all out. It comes from not giving up. Even if you only have 10 minutes, do something. Even if you're tired, take a small step. Even if you're not at your best, keep moving forward. Because the moment you stop entirely, it becomes easier to quit. But if you keep the habit alive, even in a small way, you protect your momentum. Consistency isn't about being perfect. You will have off days. Life will get in the way. That's part of the process. What matters is how quickly you get back on track. Most people let one missed day turn into a missed week, then a missed month, and suddenly they're starting over. But the people who master consistency, they don't let one slip derail everything. They get back to work right away. If you want to build relentless consistency, you must hold yourself to a higher standard. You must see yourself as the kind of person who follows through. No matter what, your habits must become non-negotiable. You must remove the mental debate. And most importantly, you must keep going even when the results aren't immediate. The fifth habit of daily excellence is setting and maintaining high personal standards. Your standards shape your outcomes. You don't get what you want in life. You get what you tolerate. If you accept mediocrity, that's what you'll live with. But if you demand excellence from yourself, your life will rise to meet that demand. Most people lower their standards to match their surroundings. If they're in a lazy or unmotivated environment, they start making excuses. If they spend time with people who think small, they begin shrinking their own goals. If they see others cutting corners, they start doing the same. But excellence isn't about blending in. It's about raising the bar no matter what's happening around you. It's about refusing to settle. It's about holding yourself accountable to a higher level of discipline, focus, and execution. Your standards determine how you show up every day. If your standard is to do the bare minimum, that's exactly what you'll do. If you only act when you feel like it, you'll always be inconsistent. But if your standard is to give your best effort in every situation, you'll start separating yourself from the crowd. Excellence doesn't require perfection. It requires you to consistently aim high. It's choosing discipline when others make excuses. It's choosing focus when others give in to distractions. It's pushing forward when others would quit. The mistake most people make is letting their emotions set their standards. They say, "I'll do it when I feel ready," or "I'll try harder when I see more results." But that's backwards. Excellence is built by honoring your standards even when you don't feel like it. High standards come with non-negotiables. Things you do no matter what. If your standard is health, then skipping workouts isn't an option. If your standard is focus, then distractions don't get your attention. If your standard is reliability, then following through becomes a must. Once you decide what your non-negotiables are, you must enforce them relentlessly. Every time you lower the bar, even just a little, you reinforce the habit of making excuses. But when you hold the line, you reinforce the identity of someone who follows through every single time. One of the quickest ways to raise your standards is to change your environment. If you're surrounded by people who accept average effort, you'll slowly start to do the same. But if you're around people who push themselves daily, who expect more, who live with purpose, you'll naturally level up. Excellence is contagious. When you're in an environment where high standards are the norm, you don't have to force yourself to rise. You just will. Laziness won't feel normal, inconsistency won't be accepted, mediocrity won't feel comfortable, but environment is only part of it. The real test happens when you're alone, when no one's watching, when there's no one to hold you accountable. That's when your standards matter most. Discipline is doing the right thing when you could get away with doing less. It's giving your best effort even when there's no reward. It's holding yourself to a higher level, even when no one else is. That's what separates the great from the average. Most people don't fail because they lack ability. They fail because they lower their standards when things get tough. They let emotions decide how much effort they give. They let setbacks convince them to quit. But the ones who succeed, they stay committed. They uphold their standards through every challenge, every failure, and every obstacle. If you want to master daily excellence, you must raise your standards in every part of your life, in your work, in your habits, in how you handle adversity. Because once your standards rise, everything else will rise with them, in the way you treat others, in the way you carry yourself. Every moment is a chance to reinforce the identity of someone who refuses to settle for anything less than their best. The sixth habit of daily excellence is training your ability to take decisive action. Most people hesitate. They overthink, they second-guess themselves, they analyze every possible outcome before making a move. And in that hesitation, opportunities are lost, momentum dies, progress gets delayed, but excellence is built on speed of execution, the ability to decide and move without hesitation. It's the ability to trust yourself enough to take action, even when you don't have all the answers. To take a step forward, take the risk, and adjust as you go. The people who win in life aren't the ones who always make the perfect decisions. They're the ones who make fast decisions. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They don't sit around waiting for clarity or confidence. They don't let fear turn into paralysis. They act, and because they act, they build momentum. Hesitation is a habit. Every time you delay a decision, every time you put something off, every time you hesitate, you strengthen that habit. Your brain starts to associate decisions with stress, with fear, with pressure, and over time, even small actions feel overwhelming. The way to break this habit is simple. Train yourself to act immediately. The moment you know you need to do something, move. If you need to speak up, do it before doubt creeps in. If you need to make a tough call, do it before your brain talks you out of it. If you need to start that project, start it before your excuses get loud. The longer you wait, the more resistance builds. But when you move quickly, you rob hesitation of its power. You condition your brain to associate action with confidence, not fear. And soon, taking action becomes automatic. The biggest lie people tell themselves is, I need more time to think. More time to plan, more time to prepare. But most of the time, more thinking doesn't lead to better decisions. It leads to no decision at all. It leads to overanalyzing, second guessing, and staying stuck in the same place. Decisiveness is a skill, and like any skill, it grows the more you use it. The more quick, firm decisions you make, the more confident you become. The more confident you are, the more momentum you build. You realize you don't need all the answers. You just need to start. And here's the truth. Most of the time, you already know what needs to be done. Your instincts tell you, your experience tells you, but instead of moving, you pause, you hesitate, you let fear and self-doubt creep in, and that hesitation, it kills momentum. But when you act decisively, you build trust in yourself, you build speed, you build clarity, and you build a life where progress never stops. Habit 6. Train yourself to take decisive action. The most successful people don't wait for perfect conditions. They act on instinct. They trust their judgment even when the outcome isn't guaranteed. They understand that mistakes are part of the process and can be corrected. Because they don't hesitate, they move faster, achieve more, and gain valuable experience along the way. Hesitation slows you down, and when momentum is lost, progress becomes harder. When you're in motion, everything starts to flow. Discipline becomes easier, confidence builds, and results come faster. But when you pause and overthink, you create resistance. Simple tasks begin to feel overwhelming. Small decisions feel larger than they really are. One of the easiest ways to train this habit is by using the 5-second rule. The moment you know what you need to do, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and take action. Speak up, get started, move forward. This helps bypass the mental delay that often leads to excuses. Starting is usually the hardest part, but once you do, momentum takes over. You no longer have to push yourself, you just keep going. The more often you act without delay, the more natural it becomes. Over time, hesitation fades and decisive action becomes second nature. If you're serious about achieving excellence, you can't afford to wait. Not until tomorrow, not until the conditions are perfect, not until you feel more confident. Every meaningful result begins with one clear, committed action. Habit 7. Build mental toughness. Excellence isn't just about how skilled you are, it's about how resilient you are. Life will challenge you, no matter how capable or hardworking you may be. Adversity is inevitable, obstacles will arise, and if you haven't trained your mind to push through, you'll find it hard to keep going. Many people back down when things become difficult. When discomfort shows up, they stop. When failure happens, they retreat. That's not due to lack of ability, it's a lack of mental strength. They haven't learned how to endure pressure or keep going when things aren't going their way. Mental toughness is the ability to keep showing up regardless of how you feel. It means staying focused on your objectives even when progress feels slow. It's about pushing through stress, fatigue, and setbacks because you know your goals are worth the effort. Like physical strength, mental toughness is built through repetition. Every time you choose to keep going despite adversity, you reinforce that mindset. You train yourself to respond to difficulty with persistence rather than avoidance. Those who succeed consistently are not those who never struggle. They are those who keep going despite the struggle. They're driven not by how they feel in the moment, but by their long-term commitment. They choose discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, effort over excuses. Mental strength is also about learning to control your response to discomfort. It's knowing that failure isn't final. It's part of growth. It's using setbacks as feedback instead of reasons to stop. One of the best ways to build this resilience is by intentionally choosing challenges. Seek out situations that stretch your limits. Don't avoid difficulty. Use it to develop inner strength. The more you do this, the stronger and more capable you become. When you consistently handle adversity with composure, you stop fearing it. It becomes just another part of the process, and that's when you become truly resilient. Not because challenges disappear, but because you're prepared for them, building mental toughness through daily challenges. The greatest threat to mental toughness is comfort. When you make life too easy, you weaken yourself. Avoiding challenges limits your growth. By protecting yourself from discomfort, you prevent the development of the resilience needed to handle life's tough situations. The quickest way to build mental toughness is by intentionally putting yourself in difficult situations. Challenge yourself every day. Pursue activities that push you to grow. The more you expose yourself to difficulty, the stronger you become. The more you push beyond your limits, the more you realize those limits were never as fixed as you thought. Every time you move past discomfort, you train your mind to become stronger. By persevering when you want to quit, you reinforce your ability to be relentless. Every decision to choose discipline over convenience makes it harder for life's challenges to break you. The individuals who excel in life aren't the ones who avoid failure. They're the ones who can endure failure, pain, and hardship, and still keep moving forward. They refuse to quit no matter how difficult the situation becomes. They embrace the grind because they know that growth is found in adversity. A great way to develop mental toughness is through controlled hardship. Wake up earlier than usual. Push yourself physically beyond your comfort zone. Take on challenges that intimidate you. Do the things you don't feel like doing repeatedly until discomfort becomes second nature. Many people believe that toughness is innate. In reality, it's a skill that can be developed. Like any muscle, if you don't challenge it, it will remain weak. But if you push yourself, if you consistently test your limits, you'll become stronger and more resilient. If you want to be someone who never quits, you must prove it to yourself every day. Show yourself through your actions that you are capable of handling more than you think. You are not controlled by discomfort. You can push through both mental and physical boundaries. The common mistake people make is thinking that mental toughness is built in moments of extreme pressure. In truth, it's developed through the small, daily choices you make. The power of consistency and mindset. The choice to wake up on time, to train when you're tired, and to stay focused despite distractions. These small decisions accumulate. They form a mindset that remains unshaken under pressure. The most successful athletes, entrepreneurs, and high achievers all share one characteristic. They can endure. They face rejection, setbacks, and failure, yet continue pushing forward. That resilience is what makes them unstoppable. To master daily excellence, you must train your mind to overcome your emotions. You need to take action even when you don't feel like it, and show up at your best even when things aren't going your way. This mindset is what separates the elite from the average. Excellence isn't something you chase. It's something you become step by step every day. You are either reinforcing habits of mediocrity or training yourself for greatness. There's no middle ground. You're either making excuses, hesitating, or lowering your standards, or you're building discipline, mastering your focus, and taking relentless action. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck, talent, or intelligence. It's the daily commitment to excellence. It's about showing up and operating at a high level, regardless of the circumstances or obstacles you face. Success isn't about isolated actions. It's about consistency. It's about how you start your day, how you protect your focus, the discipline you enforce, the standards you uphold, and how you carry yourself even when no one is watching. Excellence isn't a skill. It's an identity. The moment you decide to make it part of your life, everything changes. Your confidence grows, your results improve, and your mindset strengthens. You no longer let distractions, hesitation, or fleeting emotions control you. Instead, you lead with purpose, execution, and a firm commitment to mastery. Successful people aren't waiting for the perfect moment. They don't wait to feel motivated, nor do they wait for permission. They make the decision right now to raise their standards and operate at a higher level. They decide to show up differently. That decision is yours to make. You don't need more time, more information, or to wait for anything else. What matters is what you do today, the actions you take, the standards you uphold, and how you execute right now. So the question is, will you choose excellence, not just today, but every single day?